This isn't just a fight between Kizaru and Luffy, it's a clash between control and chaos, speed and rhythm, light and rubber. All told through animation choices you probably didn't notice. Today we're breaking down how One Piece uses acting, cinematography, color, and timing to turn Gear 5 into something awesome. And if anything, he's moving a bit like Kizaru. Like he's disappearing, he's going all the way there, and he's pretty much doing the same thing as Kizaru. So he goes all the way around. Some nice animation. There's a lot of smears happening. Smears, basically motion blurs and multiple limbs. Multiple limbs and smear frames is basically creating motion blurs. So that's what's happening around there. And he's right next to us. He's even got the flickering, like the lights that Kizaru has. So he's really imitating what he's doing, but obviously with his goofiness. And then we go back to Kizaru. He's in this like 60s disco. Lights everywhere, John Travolta. And he's kind of going in slow motion. Things are slowing down, which is really nice. Okay, this is super cool. The camera just pans across. So as he whips, you see this in anime all the time. So a punch is coming, and then the camera turns, and we're both going in a direction the punch is going. This time it's basically Kizaru swiping across the screen, which is nice. Then we see where he's going towards, and obviously it's going towards Luffy. But what I do like is as he goes across, it doesn't just cut. The camera still starts to track. The camera's tracking towards where Luffy is and all the other Kizaru clones are coming. That's a lot of work because you actually have to, draw these guys. Like you have to animate them attacking Luffy and doing their thing, but at the same time, the camera is giving the impression it's going towards them. So they're attacking, but their perspective is getting closer towards the camera. There we go. Okay. He pulls out the lightsaber. This is obviously super cool. It almost looks like, a punch when it's straight at you. It should be difficult to see what's happening because it's so fast. So we'll just play it just to see how fast it is. So Luffy's dodging quite a lot. He's doing some awesome stuff. I can see some really cool stuff happening in there. I really like hand-to-hand combats anime. Um, what's one of my favorites? I think Obito versus Kakashi. It's very famous, obviously, but even like Killer Bee versus Sasuke in Naruto, that one's very cool as well. So it reminds me a bit of that. And we don't get a lot of these hand-to-hand combat stuff in One Piece unless it's Luffy fighting a boss. So okay, as soon as the sword goes towards him, there's a nice little bend across the scene. And I do like how when Luffy is, they're still keeping him in this gomu gomu, like the rubbery kind of freeness. So when he's actually whipping his hand across, it feels very floppy. The way he actually stops Kizaru's hand, it could have been something along the lines of, hey, something like this. But they've chosen to go for something more along the lines of very snake-like, very not tense, which is nice. And then he does still push his arm away, to avoid getting hit. And then as soon as he pushes, he ducks down, which is nice because you have this moment where there's an attack block. As soon as he blocks, he's like, whoop, need to go down. Whoosh, goes down. And then he turns around after he ducks that kind of swing. And then afterwards, he just like pushes himself into him, like barges him. What is he doing there? Is he just like taking a nap? So you don't notice these things until like you go frame by frame. Yeah, he's just taking a bit of a nap there. He just leans onto Kizaru, and Kizaru's like, "What? Is this guy serious?" And then he gets back up over a couple frames, and then he goes back into. I mean, it's all part of his character, right? It's all part of his character, not being serious, playful. The warrior of liberation that plays the fool, the sun god Nika. But it's part of his fighting. Oh, he takes a nap in the middle of a fight with Kizaru, one of the admirals. And look at this awesome stuff here. Look. So when you go through like this position all the way to there, that's a very big spacing. We as the audience won't be able to read it. So what they're doing is they're smearing all of this to mimic motion blur. So if it's easier to read when something's happening at a very fast pace. So we don't lose track of the character. And then over here as well, like the hands are moving across. It's coming from here, there. So if you move from here all the way to here, it's going to be difficult to read. But recreating like another set of hands that are kind of getting close to the final position helps us read that big spacing. Okay, what's happening there? I hope I saw like a flash. Oh, very nice. So Kizaru, there's a flash that happens. Oh, every time he swings, there's like every time he swings the light sword, all these bits of pieces of light just fly off. Oh, this is cool. I like the choreography here because they mix it up. He's swinging with the sword, the light sword, and then eventually when he swings, he's got this part of his body open, so he decides to do a kick there, and then he goes into this. It sets him up nicely for this, so it's a nice flow. It's not just swing, swing, swing. You need the animators have chosen to use the body as in a very as dynamic as they can. And obviously Luffy's doing all this like acrobatics here, which is super cool. I do like the fact that when he is fighting in the foreground close to us, we have another Kizaru appear. So just to show that while he's fighting this guy, another one behind him is creeping up to just build up on the tempo. Here we go. So he's doing that kind of like I'm moving super, super fast, rainbow colors happening all over the place. So you're only able to see my like after image. You can't catch me. That's how fast I'm going, which is nice. And while that's happening, we've got these light Kizarus appearing all over the place just to show the build up and the momentum of the fight escalating. Oh, more Kizarus are coming. Okay, here we go. This is super cool. So I always love it when the camera starts moving in 2D actually because it's quite difficult to animate a character. Um, one, fighting, doing choreography, interacting with one another. At the same time, the camera's moving around the environment. So at this point, I think he grabs one of the Kizaru as the main one, and they go through the clouds. Camera tilts. It's basically like a cut. It's a very interesting way of doing a cut. So at this point, he's holding on to him. We get awesome perspective. Oh my God, we've gone too far. There we go. We get perspective, like very nice, wide-eyed lens camera focuses like he's either fish-eyed lens, sorry. Um, we get a very strong perspective on the hands as it gets closer to Kizaru. And we get a moment where, the hands are super close to his face. This light here is mimicking that we're looking at Luffy from Kizaru's perspective. And he does these things with his hand. I'm not sure what those are. This is super crazy. Like cameras turning around while the characters are falling but fighting at the same time. Nice little impact blast in the air while they're falling down. Oh, okay, here we go. I want to see this bit. So he goes for a super big punch, comes right next to the camera, spins across, and all these guys are getting ready to shoot him. And I think that's what the explosions are. Yeah, there we go. All these Kizarus like firing at him. And when he's getting hit by those laser beams, look what's happening with his hands. There's a nice little effect that they've added in here. That's Luffy's hands. You can start to see the bone inside the hand. There we go. We can see his bones inside hand. Like it's so bright. It's giving you this kind of like X-ray effects, which is super cool. There we go. We can see it's really awesome. I'm not sure if he's burning or if it's just so bright that you can actually see through his hand. So we'll see momentarily. There we go. So yeah, I think it's just so bright that you can actually see through his body at that point. Yeah, this is cool. You're gonna hear me saying cool a lot because, yeah, because it is. He's dodging, he's weaving around, and the camera's doing a 360 around him while that's happening. Okay, there we go. At one point, he gets ready to just jump away from there, jumps out. And what's cool is we think he's going away from us into the distance and the camera's going to cut, but he decides to come back right next to us. To the camera more like. That is a really nice 360 turn by him. Bounces onto the cloud. Yeah. I mean, he's got that freedom mobility, hasn't he? He can do anything. So when he turns around, rather than going through the clouds, he just bounces on the cloud to continue going to Kizaru. Boing. And then I think he's found the right one over here. He's going towards him, and then he does like a double kick to his face. And I think he does like a what's the move called? I can't remember the name of the move, but like he does it in the early pre time skip, pre Fishman Island, in like when they're still in East Blue, I think, when he turns into a ball and he's just like shooting his Gatling gun hands all over the place. So okay, camera zooms out. This is super like there's so much going on. He sees him. Okay. I think at this point he gets hit. There we go. So we are tracking this laser shot by Kizaru towards Luffy. He dodges it, but one I think scrapes him. There we go. When it scrapes him, you got this blood bursting out right next to his eyes. I think he's just like winking, like tensing up there, like, ugh, I got hit. Yeah, this is super. What would you call this? It reminds me of the fight with Kaido when he's just morphing and changing, but more extreme here. He's a bit like the Tasmanian devil, you know, like a bit of a tornado, spinning, multiple hands, multiple eyeballs. If anything, he looks a bit like one of those planet rings. And there you just see a glimpse of his face with like the body still abstract. So cartoony. This is not anime. It's fun though. It's cool to see this. Look at that. He's just a twister. And then very cool like camera motion here. That's where he is, and all the Kizaros are heading there. What's nice about this is the brightest part of the shot is where it's leading your eyes towards, and that's where Luffy is. It's done in a way where all the characters are heading there. The light is getting brighter as we get there, so it's drawing the attention of the audience to exactly that specific spot. Let's see. There's a lot of effects animation being done over here. So I think he's punching through the cloud, and you got all this cloud kind of hiding him. It's a nice way to not reveal all the attacks or all the motion all in one go. So there's clouds being morphed around him. Yep, there we go. It's like he's flying. Well, he is flying, and he's covered by clouds. Yeah, here we go. I want to show this to you guys. Look at this impact frame. This is awesome. So as he's flying towards Kizaru, we have this frame where he just goes berserk. I don't know why he would be surprised, but I think it's more of a, I'm so angry that my eyeballs are popping out. We have that for a frame. Then the camera gets close to him, And then all of a sudden we cut out. It's a similar thing that Kizaru was doing when he was flying towards the camera would cut out to get a shot further away from him to still come in because if the camera was to track really close to the character and just stay there, we lose the momentum of the speed. But there, he's really all this curl, like he's curled up his body so much that he's gonna whip it across. There we go. So this part of the body is going. He's whipping that across. There, you can see all that leg that he's whipped around. And over one frame, you can see what's happening. This is a very, very cool impact frame. Usually it's black and white, but they're still playing with the whole rainbow colors, lights, rainbow colors, Kizaru's ability, and Luffy is mimicking that. Very funny expression. Over one frame, he comes straight to the camera, so he throws his arm and he zooms in, and then it passes by the camera. Very galactic Milky Way explosion, Big Bang stuff happening. I'm not even going to break these down because I think it's just a mixture of cool colors that they used and got experimental with it. Yeah, and his legs are going all over the place. Lots of explosions and stuff happening. And then he's holding this kind of cool pose in midair. Hmm? He notices Kizaru. When he does this, I think he's just like trying to aim and find him in his playful, kid-like way. Or maybe it was the Davy back fight he did with that guy, and he's like Noro Noro or Holo Holo when he slows down. So he's mimicking that, or he thinks it's that. Was there something happening there? Okay. So this is a very cool moment. This is an impact frame of Kizaru just shooting a laser at Luffy. Look what happens. Look at the impact frame. It's so cool. Because Borsolino Kizaru is supposed to be the character's based on a very Italian mafia kind of design. He looks like he could be in Godfather. And when he shoots, look at this. When he's just about to shoot the beam, you have this awesome like Godfather red with black and white. So the film is like black and white, right? And you have moments where the rose is red. So this is Godfather all over. And me personally, this is what I think. It's paying homage to the Godfather and Kizaru's character. If anything, it feels like a shot from a gun, and he just looks like a mafia boss. And in the second frame, when he shoots, he looks like, you know, death when he does shoot over here. So we've got this frame where he's, cool, calm Kizaru, but actually there's a mafia behind that, or a hitman, because he is a hitman for the Gorosei or the world government, right? Because he is their kind of, well, not kind of, he is their assassin. He takes out their bids. So this is a very good play. I mean, to do this kind of an impact frame with the red, black, and white for the Godfather tribute, I think. And then for the whole assassin kind of like demon, or should I say death, he becomes completely bones from the flash, obviously, but it looks more satanic or more demonic or more scary with the whole just bones. And then the shot of the fire is done, or the laser is done with red. And then look at that. So, so cool. Yeah, it's just dodging everything. Let's see if there's anything else I can show you guys. Yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed that. I really had fun analyzing the Luffy Gear 5 versus Kizaru fights. This whole like segment of fight between them two was really, really fun. Lots of cool impact frames, lots of interesting ways they've animated with cameras, and the choreography was really cool with Luffy fighting multiple Kizarus as well. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed that. If you'd like to see some more of this, hit the like and subscribe, and I'll definitely have some more of this. Let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you like to see. If there's a specific sequence or a character, or maybe another anime you'd like me to take a look at. So yeah. Thanks, guys. This scene only works because every department, from animation, direction, lighting, color, was pulling in the same direction. But I'm curious, what moment in this fight stood out for you? Drop in the comments if you want more breakdowns like this. You know what to do.